What is up, everybody? Welcome in. DfsArmy MLB pre-lock show for Wednesday. 9-game slate, I think it is, with an 8-game slate earlier today. So 17 games of baseball today. Always a good day when you have 17 games. I am joined by Tattoo. Tattoo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Played the I had some tickets or vouchers, whatever, FanDuel, and per usual, I finished the last spot from cashing.
No.
But I was going to ask you a question. I meant to ask it yesterday, and I was going to get your thoughts. It was I just saw something in Discord, and it made me think about maybe how cores are perceived or meant. When you say somebody is a core, what do you mean? Maybe in terms of ownership or something, along those lines.
For me, since I'm a mean, like a core play just means they're the highest owned at that position for me.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, that's just being simple with it. If I'm hand building lineups, if I'm only playing light, like they're the guys that I'm just jamming in first, and then I'm trying to build around that. There are times where it MME wise where I've gone to 60% of a guy, but then there are also times where my core guy is still only in 20% of lineups.
Yeah,
it changes on a nightly basis depending on really how many guys you like or whatever.
Yeah,
there's so many factors.
I was just gonna say, I think some people kind of perceive it as lock all in, like we want to put that player in every single lineup. I think I've just seen some people talking about cores from time to time, and it's like they kind of seem like they're locking them in.
Without going in too deep on some of the one, I think there's complaining just to complain. But two,
it's always going to be that. So.
But two, also, I think people just perceive certain spots as like they just can never miss. Doing things blindly is never the right thing to do. I don't know. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, but
to me, like it's kind of like you said, it's my favorite player at that position, obviously, and depending on their ownership, it's somebody that I'm going to be over on.
Yeah, that's the other component to it is like I'm going to be overweight on them compared to projected ownership, for the most part. But the number one thing for me is just I'm making sure that those guys that are my cores are the ones that I have highest exposure to at those positions, or just overall in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're here to talk about a slate that does not have Coors. The Coors game that is 1-0 in the 6th inning right now. Cade Cavalli just absolutely dominating. Good to see. But we do have a fun game in Philadelphia between the Dodgers and Phillies with two not so great pitchers on the mound. We get doubleheader game number 2 in New York.
And Boston.
And in Boston. The New York game has Bubba Chandler, who's struggled, and then Max Fried, who's only going to probably go 3 innings. 3 to 4 innings, I should say. So we have some offensive spots, but we also have wind blowing in Wrigley. Now, that didn't really matter for Framber Valdez last night, but the rest of the game, it kind of mattered. There wasn't all that much explosiveness. really it's because the Cubs walked a ton the first 2 innings. I think they walked like 8 times or something like that. Wind blowing in Wrigley is always interesting for us. The problem is you get Kiter Montero and Colin Ray pitching in that game. And Montero's been used more as a multi-inning reliever recently than a traditional starting pitcher. So I don't know. There's a lot of question marks in the pitching category tonight. Do you have a number one guy?
Number one. I mean, I do like my man Bradish. I think is it Ranger pitching tonight?
He's not any longer. It's Eduardo Rivera.
I was gonna say you gotta take a chance on pitcher against the Orioles with all those strikeouts coming. But I mean, nobody stands out. I mean, maybe Sandy, the way he's been pitching recently, getting ready for his new team.
For me, it's the opposite side of Sandy. It's going to be Peter Lambert, which things I never thought I would say ever. Peter Lambert's such an extreme reverse splits pitcher that I think it fits because Miami wants to get to you with their left-handed bats mostly. So I just think Lambert's got to be that guy. It feels gross. Like I don't mind Sandy, but on the road he's a much different pitcher than he is at home. And I think Jordan probably just takes him deep twice.
As long as he doesn't get walked. Yeah.
I want it to be Bradish, but Boston's now won 15 straight after winning game 1 today. And I believe isn't the weather in Fenway good for hitting?
I think
yeah, it's supposed to be even better this evening than it was for the game. Traditionally 21% increase in home runs. Historical average with this weather combination, nearly 10 runs per game. So it's tough. But I just wrote a note on Bradish in the cheat sheet that there still is a real chance that he ends up as the highest raw scoring pitcher on the slate because he has that kind of ability. But then once you move past the names that we've mentioned, basically those 3 names, where the hell else do we go at pitcher? Because it is absolutely disgusting.
Bailey?
Max Fried's only going to throw 60 pitches.
Yeah.
So right now he's projected at 20% ownership on DK, which is 3rd highest. I can't get there.
Bailey
I will sprinkle that. I mean, that's the problem. Like, do I really want to play Bailey over on the road? His home road splits are pretty extreme as well. I'm kind of high on Cleveland tonight, which is never a thing for me. But it looks like Stephen Kwan is back to hitting leadoff as he's woken up. J-Ram is back in the lineup as well. So I'm kind of high on Cleveland. So I am going to sprinkle in Ober, but it does not feel good. Michael King, who just can't strike anybody out apparently these days, is probably somebody I'm going to be heavy on just because Atlanta upset us last night by doing basically nothing. And he did shut down Atlanta last month when he faced them. But, then we're having to play Colin Ray in Wrigley. Now, Colin Ray has been much better when pitching at home, but it's still Colin Ray. His much better at home is like 12 fantasy points.
Yeah. Or you maybe better.
So I don't know.
I was gonna just say going Lambert and Sandy.
Maybe, and just hoping that it's. I mean, I do have a couple hand builds that are that combination already. Then I have a hand build that's each one of those guys with Colin Ray, and I think I have a Michael King Colin Ray hand build too. I'm just trying to dart throw it. Montero gets a pitch in Wrigley, but he also might only throw 50 pitches. I have to look. I looked at it earlier this morning when I did my today's pitcher video, but I don't need my thing to show me Alcantara. Montero in the last 3 weeks has thrown 23, 36, 32, 58, 43 pitches. A month ago, he did throw 76 and 96 pitches, but I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to push him to 70? If you told me they were going to give him 70 pitches, then I'd feel better. But he legitimately may only throw 60. I don't know. So that's what makes him tough. Griffin Jax is tough because it's Toronto, and he hasn't looked good the last couple starts. Yeah, it's just really questionable to me. Is there anybody else you'd consider? Martin Perez, Sassoni, or are you considering Jax?
Man,
Anthony
I don't.
K, yes.
I don't. I don't know. It's slim pickings. Like the more my brain, I think like Lambert and Sandy. They're like, same kind of thing as you, maybe some Ray and Aber.
Yeah, I don't really love the pitching at all. And it's painful because I very much enjoy pitching. So since the pitching is so questionable, we might as well just switch over to offense right away, right? Try to figure out what we're doing. The problem is with offenses, even though the pitching is whatever, there are a bunch of offenses to me tonight that are whatever. The Minnesota Twins, kind of whatever. Tampa Bay and Toronto. Detroit and Chicago, obviously, with the weather. Miami's offense. Texas and the White Sox, I'm just kind of like, whatever. So it's not like it's just a slam dunk offensive slate either. So
I mean, last night you thought Dodgers Phillies was going to be a home run fest, and I don't know what the final score was, but last I saw it was 2-1, like in the 6th or 7th.
Yeah, I mean, tough to think it's going to be a home run fest when it's Zach Wheeler on the mound for one team.
Yeah.
I saw Ballpark Pal predicting like the Dodgers the fourth likeliest to score 8+ runs, and I couldn't believe it yesterday because it's Zach Wheeler. Like they should have been one of the lowest to score 8+ runs. But I mean, LA, Philadelphia, the two highest owned teams. LA, the number one leverage team on the slate because it's just 87% total ownership. For the most part, this just tells me nobody really knows where to go. So it's just being really spread out.
Yeah. Majority on that one game.
And it's even not all that much, Yeah. We just saw Coors on a larger slate nearly double that ownership percentage. So I don't know, like Boston's super popular, so while I get it, maybe I just rely on Bradish a little bit more, and put more stock into Baltimore's bats. Kind of be the reverse side of that.
Yeah.
because Encarnacio Strand is now the best player on Baltimore, and I don't.
He just hits home runs, man.
There's no argument against him not at this point. So, I mean, I'm still a little upset at the Twins for trading him, but it is what it is. To Cincinnati, and then Cincinnati just kind of gave up on him. So it's a little weird, but
Yeah.
You'll find out Encarnacio Strand is one of my favorite bats on the slate. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. I never saw the transaction. I just was looking through something and I saw he was in our lineup and I was like, what the fuck?
Cincinnati DFA'd him earlier this year and then traded him to Baltimore for like cash considerations or some player to be named later or something. But they just recently brought him up. You know, today was only game number 3 or something.
Yeah.
But coming out strong, facing another lefty. So like 3 straight games of facing a left-handed pitcher for him fits in perfectly for him. So yeah, I'm kind of throwing back the clock a little bit tonight and relying on Encarnacion Strand and Tyler O'Neill, which feels painful, but going to get there. I am a little shocked to see the Minnesota Twins as the lowest owned team, not because I think the Twins are going to score a bunch of runs. They have the lowest implied run total. It's the fact that they're facing Slate Sassoni, who is not very good. Which team do you think you'd be the lowest on this? Since we talk about all the teams that we're always high on right away, let's start at the bottom. Who's the least likely team to get your dollars attached to them?
From any standpoint?
Yeah.
It's a very good question. What the hell is going on? Shut up. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I don't know why my phone is doing this. I don't even know what is going on. Like literally nothing popped up. There was nothing I could turn off. Least likely to get my dollars. It's tough because I mean, it's no pitcher out there that I'm just like, that was the purge. Yes. There's no pitcher that it's just like, ooh. But I guess it would, you know, more likely be Miami or Houston.
It's definitely Miami for me, or it's one of the teams in the Cubs-Tigers game.
Yeah, I was thinking Detroit.
Because, like, Houston's going to get a bunch of my dollars because Yordan Alvarez is a core player. So, for sure, that's just automatically going to drive them up. Like, we have 16.5% roughly on DK for that team. I'm going to be twice that in Yordan Alvarez alone. So, it is kind of tough because it's like, you know, we can't just automatically rule out some guys or some teams. But then also, you know, it could be Toronto as well, even though I like George Springer a lot. Maybe I'm not playing a lot. I'm not playing as much Chicago White Sox, even though it's not like their spot is terrible. It's just that they've been kind of cold from a fantasy point scoring perspective. So just
nobody stands out like, oh, I have to play them.
Right. They're expensive, and I don't really want to pay up for that. Not that we need money for pit. Well, I guess technically we might need money for pitching if we're just going to play Sandy and Lambert in a bunch of lineups together. So yeah, it's just a really weird feeling slate, and I don't know how to break it down for myself to necessarily attack it because I don't feel good going in most directions.
Yeah.
Like I always feel good going in the Dodgers direction, right? Like especially when it's Aaron Nola. Um, I think you have to feel decent going in Boston's direction just based on how they've been performing. But like Philadelphia's underwhelmed a lot recently. Like they have the third worst batter wOBA on the slate, for these splits and stuff. But yet they're the second highest owned team. Then it's like, well, I'm higher on Cleveland than I ever thought I would be. And then you look and they're the fourth lowest wOBA on the slate. And we've been picking on Cleveland with pitching for the last month and a half. So it just feels like one of those gross coin flip slate. Like every spot is just a coin flip.
Yeah. It's just a mediocre slate in every aspect.
Yeah. And the fact I'm getting absolutely destroyed in the day action, even though it looks like Washington has scored 5 runs now. Luis Garcia homered for the 703rd time this season. Arizona's up to 9 runs because they just went on a home run barrage. They now have 5 home runs in the game over the last 2 innings. So it does, like, it feels worse than what the day slate was, and the day slate wasn't all that great for me either when I was researching and doing everything. 17 games today. The most expensive pitcher on either slate was $9K. Logan Henderson and Peter Lambert, and I think Bradish is $9K on this slate too.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 most expensive pitchers today. Kind of a weird feeling. And the day slate doesn't exactly have a ton of offense. I mean, obviously Arizona's up to 9 runs. Coors is only at 5 runs total. Boston with that solid hitting weather, 9 runs. They had 6 of them. So Yankee Stadium, 8 runs in 10 innings. So I don't know. Maybe it's just not an offensive day. It's just one of those blah slates.
It's a little cooler. At least I know here this week it was like no days even getting up to 90. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of places are a little cooler right now. Which I think is all right just in general. After being 100 over the weekend here, it's 74. So 26-degree difference roughly right now. Over 3 days is a pretty good drop.
It's just stupid humid here.
I'll be honest, I haven't been outside in 2 days, so I couldn't tell you. I spent the weekend out in that 100-degree playing softball tournament, and I'm now hibernating for a few days. Is there anybody in this mid-range? Because I feel like the reason I bring up the mid-range is because I feel like they're the ones kind of being overlooked, and then they feel like the teams that people are going to be like, oh, I better just get exposure to a little bit. Are any of these teams saying like San Diego down to Toronto interesting to you at all for GPP upside? Like, I mean, I think the 2 obvious are right at the top. Despite San Diego being the worst leverage team on the slate.
I like Atlanta. For whatever reason, and I can't give you a big, strong speech in support of this, but for whatever today, I've felt like Tampa Bay. But I would say I agree with you being at the top: San Diego, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and then maybe Toronto and Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore's definitely the one for me at the bottom, but yeah, like it's San Diego and Atlanta. Atlanta let us down last night, so that might be why their ownership has kind of plummeted a little bit. So it could come back. San Diego is just hitting a bunch of home runs right now, and Martin Perez coming off the IL without a rehab start. I think it's just too good of a spot. So like they're a team that I think I'm, moving up even ahead of Boston. In these rankings. But yeah, Tampa Bay is the one that I have the biggest question about because, in June and into July, they were, especially that top half of the lineup, like the hottest offense in baseball with J-Cam, Diaz, and Aranda just doing it every night. And then Mullins was on fire too. Miles has been okay as a long reliever. Like he hasn't gotten lit up or anything, but I just feel like Tampa Bay is probably the team that just goes overlooked, and then the next thing you know, like they score 7 in the first 5 innings or something. So
they steal bases,
and they don't strike out.
Yeah.
Right. So not striking out just gives them much stronger opportunity to perform as a stack. They don't hit a lot of home runs as a team, but they have the home runs in J-Cam. Yandy and Aranda can hit home runs too, but I actually think they're one of the bottom 3 in total home runs, which is really weird considering J-Cam's going to hit 45 of them this year or something.
Yeah.
No, I have to look before I, get misquoted, and they aren't in the bottom 3. I'm just dumb, apparently. Oh wait, no, my browser didn't want to update. It doesn't want to put them in order. They're bottom 5 or 6. That looks of it.
And outside of Junior, there's nobody really that expensive.
Right. Yeah, 6th fewest home runs. Fewer home runs than the likes of the Miami Marlins and St. Louis Cardinals, which feels kind of rough. Yeah, I'm on a nightly basis, I'm kind of a reluctant, just play Tampa Bay guy. Like, it doesn't feel great because, they're rotating DeLuca and Cedric Mullins hitting cleanup. They have Chandler Simpson, who's not going to hit home runs. He's hitting 5th or 6th some nights. The fact that you get stuck having to choose between 2 of J-Cam, Aranda, and Diaz on DK kind of makes it a little annoying because then now 3 of your guys in your stack are guys you don't necessarily want to jam in. Victor Mesa's former big name for the Marlins in the prospect world, finally hitting some home runs, but he doesn't get to play every day. And the optimizers want to jam in like Taylor Walls, who's atrocious because he gives point per dollar. It's an uncomfortable stack is really what it is.
Because I was going to say on FanDuel, at least, you could play all 3 of those guys.
You definitely do get to.
Because they're, here, 3rd, 1st. It's the one at utility.
It's funny to see that the Rays are the 6th fewest home runs, but they have the 6th best team OPS in baseball. 6 most stolen bases as well. So they just get it done. The problem is they have to get a lot of hits is what it is, because they also have the 5th fewest doubles, and they're middle of the pack in triple, top 10 in triples. But that just means they get it singles, stolen bases, quite a bit, which again makes it tougher for them to get ceilings for stacks, because you have to get a lot of base hits for your stack to GPPs.
You can stack Junior Randy and Junior Yandy and Aranda for $10,300 on FanDuel.
And that's not terrible at all.
Yeah, they're 3,700, 3,400, 3,200. Everybody else is under 2,800.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a pretty easy stack on FanDuel.
Yeah.
Because then you really get to like pair them with just about anybody. Aside from like, obviously it eliminates you from pairing them with the best part of the Yankees, because you can't play Ben Rice then. You can't play Bryce Harper with them in a Philly combination. You can't play Freddie Freeman or Max Muncy with them, but I mean, you still get to play Ohtani and Betts, or you get to play Schwarber and Trey Turner with them for a Philadelphia combination. So, yeah, they Jordan and Jeremy Pena. That's another combination. Is Encarnacio Strand just first and third base on FanDuel?
Let me jump back. The game's not on there.
Oh, I suppose they didn't. Do they not have
no Yankees either?
Game either?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that just really blahs out the FanDuel slate too. But maybe I go over there and build a lineup or two just for fun. I haven't built one there in months.
Let's see. Over there, Sandy is 10,000. Lambert's 99, and they're right there. Top 2 pitchers. King 9,000.
Yeah, Harlock says pitching really sucks on FanDuel. I mean, to be honest, that's kind of fitting because FanDuel kind of sucks. So, as you can tell, I'm just not a fan of
FanDuel.
Whatever FanDuel tries to have going on. We'll make a single lineup over on FanDuel here. But any other things from a stack perspective that stand out to you?
No. Nothing glaring. As we've said here, I've warmed up to the White Sox a little more.
Well, warmed up to who? To which
the team? White Sox.
Not for me, but I understand trying to play them. Colson's not 100%, and the rest of the lineup's been. Plus, they're going to make some changes. So, like, Alexander's going to start as the opener, and then they're going to go to Cal Quantrill, which means you might start out with Grichuk in the lineup, and then he comes out for Benintendi. There's just going to be a couple of changes that are annoying for DFS purposes.
This feels like one of those they tried it last night and couldn't get it going, but this feels like one of those Boston Orioles games that ends up like 13-10, 13-12.
I can kind of see that happening. I don't know that I want it to happen that way, but I can kind of see it happening that way.
Because they play some wild ones against each other, you know. Yeah, I still don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. I just keep playing around with combinations, and like nothing feels awesome, but
Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. Awesome Bill from Dawson.
Why don't we just jump over and go favorite players by position, and we can get out of here? And
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's an early start anyway.
About this slate. Yeah.
Let's see. Catcher. I mean, I guess it's just Drake Baldwin. Even though Dingler's, well, I don't know what he did last night, but he had been killing it. First base. Probably, see, first base is loaded tonight. Ben Rice, how can't go wrong. Second base, I just got a crush on Cody Clemens, so I'll stick with him. Third base, Junior. Even though kind of excited to see what J Ram does coming back. Shortstop, probably Sosa or Trey Turner, either one. Outfield, Yordong. Tatis is just hot. Willer Abreu, Michael Harris. I won't name a million people.
For me, obviously, like Drake Baldwin's been good. Dylan Dingler stayed hot last night. I kind of like Ian Diaz a little bit. First base, Encarnacion Strand is the guy for me. Chris Walker, decent BVP, somebody that's off the wall. Ty France just won't stop hitting home runs. So I think he fits quite a bit. Second base, I don't know if I have anybody that stands out a ton for me. So I'll just give you a few names that like are probably going to be my highest own. Bazana, Foscue against a lefty. Rengifo for San Diego has been on a roll and somehow hitting second after he couldn't hit in Milwaukee for any reason. Genkinev, yes, both guys are hurt. Rutschman's on the IL. Basayo's just injured, but not anything right now.
Chadwick Trump.
Trump and Sam Huff are their catchers right now. Third base, I am interested to see what J-Ram does in his return, mainly because the hamate bone is an issue. Like Vinny Pasquantino came back pretty quickly, but like he doesn't seem to have any power right now, and that's the traditional thing when guys return is they get zapped of their power for an extended period of time. Manny keeps doing things. Paredes, Schneemann has BVP somehow, but I mean you get Encarnacion Strand at third base as well. It looks like Kobe Mayo's not in the lineup for game 2
Yeah, I was
against.
gonna say I saw earlier they had him in there.
Shortstop, I'm just spinning up really. Like I like the Sosa call, but I'm using Trey Turner, who's been absolutely on fire, and Mookie Betts has some impressive BVP as well. Like he's 10 for 24 against NOLA, I believe.
Yeah.
And then
And you can
Pena's
get
been on
Brooks in
fire.
outfield.
So there's just some guys to spend up at shortstop, which is nice. Outfield, man. You mentioned Tatis and how hot he's been. Jordan, I've mentioned numerous times. George Springer, I did say earlier, he's one of my core plays. Swinging it well and BVP in his favor. Michael Harris has been swinging it strongly as well. I see Brian De La Cruz is up for the Phillies. That's a good name that could hit left-handed pitching previously. Min Price, I might have to get some exposure to Brian De La Cruz. Feels weird to say. I didn't realize he was called up. But maybe he was the 27th man for the doubleheader today, and that's why I didn't hear any words. But yeah, I mean, Tyler O'Neill, Esmeralda Valdez is facing a lefty, even though it is Max Fried.
Well,
I mean, it will be Max Fried for 2 at-bats.
Right now.
That's true, too. But yeah, it's kind of all we got for positions. Tattoo, why don't you share some of your dongs, and we will get out of here.
Let's see. I like Trey Turner's dong tonight. Wilson Contreras. Oddbally from Down Under, Travis Bazana. And I do like Tyler O'Neill tonight. Then, the obvious is Junior and Camp. I even think J Ram's going to hit one tonight.
Probably because I said something about it, he will. But,
probably.
Yeah, I didn't really look into the dongs on this slate. I was more interested in the early dongs.
I took Devers dong earlier. He just did not deliver.
I think there will be a few dongs in the Dodgers-Phillies game. I just it's just kind of a toss-up on who it'll actually be. Is the problem. I'll give one kind of a little off the wall, and I'll go with Wyatt Langford tonight. Not really somebody I play a ton of. I already mentioned George Springer. His dong for sure. Well, that's kind of where I'm at. It's the end of what we got for today. Little quicker, but not a whole lot quicker. Slate starts in about an hour. Earlier start time. We're off tomorrow. We're back on Friday, roughly the same time. So roughly 48 hours from now, we will be back to talk baseball with you. If you are members of DFS Army, hit us up in Discord. If you're not, why are you not there? Our best promo code scrolling at the bottom of the screen, Best Ball 2026. Gets you 20% off any NFL or VIP sub. VIP subs like the Core 4 does include baseball. If you're not a football guy or just not ready to commit to football, you want to join us for just baseball. Promo code RAZ or Tattoo gets you 10% off any MLB package. Link in the description will take you for either code. You can enter them in. But yeah, that's it. We're out of here. Best of luck tonight. Helmets up, everybody.